Nigeria Info 99.3 Lagos. Good morning to you. Welcome to Dailies today for Wednesday. That's right. We're live right now from our audiovisual studios on Etimi and Christian Victoria Island. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
I'm Jimi. Disu. Good morning.
Right. You can watch live on Facebook. You can also watch on YouTube, Nigeria Info 99.3. But I think it's better for you to just like our Facebook page already. So anytime we are live, you get the notification from Facebook, or you just subscribe to our YouTube channel. So anytime at all, it may not be even be this show, it may be other shows, other great shows as well. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nigeria Info 99.3, so you can watch us anytime. Let's begin with the Vanguard newspaper, October 18 for today, page 5. The news page of the Vanguard, fresh trouble in Senate as Akpabio and Dume clash.
All right, let me first of all give you a bit of the details, and then I'll just say one or two things. How did this begin? Trouble started minutes after the commencement of the day session when Senator Ali Ndume raised the point of order to draw the Senate President's attention to alleged procedural errors committed by him were yet to be corrected. This sentence means he had been corrected before, but he hadn't, he hadn't paid attention to what he was told. Specifically, Ndume referenced a motion on the need for reopening of the Nigerian-Niger border, which was moved by Senator Sumaila Kawu, NNPP Kano South, which Akpabio allowed to be debated without first having the official title of the motion read, as is a normal procedure. Ndume, relying on Order 5.1 of the Senate Standing Rules, requested that the Senate President should allow for the correction of any error made or observed during plenary. He said, "This is the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, guided by laws, rules, and procedures. If in the course of proceedings at any session errors are observed, they must be corrected before forging ahead with such proceedings. Mr. President, there are some things we do in this chamber that are against the rules. Sir, nobody is too big to learn." Akpabio had hardly allowed Ndume to end his speech when he ruled him out of order, saying since he had ruled on issues raised, it could not be revisited. And then there was development on and on and on and on. And it was quite interesting to hear, people, comment on Akpabio this morning about his suitability for Senate President. This is my reaction. A man cannot give what he doesn't have. In all honesty, a man cannot give what he doesn't have. And I have a very strong suspicion that Akpabio was prompted by the executive. He was prompted because it appears that he's somebody who will be extremely useful to them. And that is valid. There should be no apologies for that. How would I be president and I won't be interested in reality about who the president of the Senate is? Nobody wants an independent Senate under him. But the Senate early enough should have tried to gain their own independence by picking a man who has such leadership qualities. A man who Akpabio is arrogant. That's the way he is. That's him. He is overbearing. In fact, if you see the videos that have come out since he became Senate President, I think it's probably the reaction of the media that has held it in his stead. Him coming out, Mr. President, he has all this mien of somebody, a jolly good fellow. Okay, but Akpabio is an executive. He's not given to anybody. He wants to be master of his environment at any given time. And you can see his comportment, to be honest, it's not to bring him down, doesn't fit that of a leader of a Senate. Where are we going to start from? Is it the joke about let the poor breathe, which he didn't know is supposed to be a very big embarrassment? I'm sure he found it funny. Or is it the joke about what is going to be put in your account when, but he pays the executive. And let me quickly say, I'm not criticizing the executive. There's nobody who would be president and wouldn't want somebody that, So the truth is this. the responsibility lies with the Senate to create its own independence. The responsibility lies. And this is a lesson for us all. From the start go, from the onset, be very, very careful who you vote into. Senate, House of Reps. These two bodies are far more important than even the executive. If you have a compromised Senate, or a Senate that is unserious and uncaring, part of which we are seeing anyway, because are you sure Nigeria wouldn't, for example, have had a Senate president who will say that we can't buy SUVs? I mean, this is not right. People will go against this. Why don't we do it this way? Why don't we buy vehicles for committees, like I said yesterday, and then we can back anybody up who wants to go and buy a personal car and go and get a bank loan. After all, banks give loans to buy vehicles, and then we give you a consolidated what is it called? A consolidated transport allowance or whatever you're going to call it, rather than have the chamber itself buying vehicles for. It's such a colossal waste. Anyway, let's lose track of what we are talking about. So I think that what we will have if Akpabio continues is that we will have peace in the land. The government, the executive, will get away with anything they want to do, good or bad, because I'm sure he sees himself as an extension of the executive. The Senate need to free themselves. I don't see politically, in terms of political evaluation, I don't think they will make that much progress. He doesn't have it. And like I said, you can't give what you don't have. It's not to put him down. Everybody has their own minuses. So it's not peculiar to him. He shouldn't have been made the Senate president in the very first instance. And Ndume is a long-time, senator. I'm sure he'll be completely disgusted at some of the things. Like he said, there are certain things that you want to discuss. You have to give notice. That we have a constitutional amendment. Please make sure that all of you are there. We are going to spend the whole day or 2 days back to back, so that everybody has his input. But Akpabio doesn't seem to have done that. So that's where we are.
Let's move on to our next story now. Page 6 is where we've got this one here, Daily Trust newspaper. And it says, Tinubu launches 1.125 trillion naira conditional cash transfer for 15 million households.
My criticism of this is based on the fact it has nothing to do with the Tinubu government. The Buhari himself, sorry, I thought I was speaking pidgin. I just don't like anything that involves cash transfer to people, because it will never get to the destination. You remember what we had, the program we had yesterday. Only God knows what has been budgeted for the palliatives, and the nonsense we had yesterday, where even the government admitted that the small bag of rice was given to the chairman to give to one household. I mean, I've always been very wary, because we don't have resource material. How are you? It's done in other countries, yes, because from the start go, there is a strong documentation of who is doing what and who is where and who is not. I mean, like in the developed countries, through paying your tax and getting your, even if you are not working, getting your what do you call it now? Getting your
unemployment
benefits, yes. Sorry, don't worry, I'll soon leave you now and go. You get your benefits. There is a standard. You understand? If you say, for example, in the United Kingdom, you are going to give cash of some palliative of about £200 or whatever, you can decide now, and in less than 30 minutes, it's done. But we don't have that. Even though the finance minister was kind enough to tell us that it's also going to involve, but for as long as he has any human element in it, I mean, I just don't. I think that we'll be frittering 1.25 trillion. If care is not taken, we'll be funding a few pockets and throwing, good money after bad. That is my inner feeling, because in the past it's never really worked well. And it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But for all it's worth, for those who will be lucky, you'll be getting, I think it's 25,000 over 3 months. And it's for the poorest of the poor. How do you determine who the poorest of the poor? This man is rich. I can't ask him that kind of question. Um, so
No, it's a valid question actually.
yes,
I remember when the Buhari government was asked the question, they said that they're going to monitor the bank accounts of some individuals and look at how much the inflow, the trend of inflow and outflow, on such accounts and everything. But the question I asked was also what happened to people that don't have bank accounts? How are you going to
and those are
take care
really
of
the poorest of
those
the
ones?
poor.
How about people that even have power, no TV, nothing inside the interior mud houses in some villages and everything? How are you going to get to those people? Because that's the definition of the poorest of the poor.
Of the poor. And it's I think it's quite common. Most of us believe that Nigeria starts and ends in our own environment. If you haven't made an effort to go across, which I haven't done, but to go across the country, I've been to places like Misao and all these places in the north. That's where the poorest of the poor are. I remember those days in Kaduna Trade Fair. You finish your meal, you finish the meal of rice and throw away whatever. You find the little kids picking the rice and putting it in a plate. That was in the late 80s.
It's still happening now.
It's still happening. Even if it was happening in the late 80s, I mean, give me a break.
Just imagine what can happen now.
Just imagine what can happen now. And then, so how do you get the biometrics of the poor when they don't have an account? Are you going to ask them to come and register with the local government? It would be nice if we could get a further explanation, get somebody from the ministry or whatever, grill him for 2 hours, and let's see what we are coming up with. Otherwise, if care is not taken, this will just be money for the boys
Again?
Yes, just be money for the boys. I don't like anything that is cash-based. I don't like it. I don't. Well, let's see how it goes. Because they're targeting 15 million households. So you must have a database of the 15 million households.
So my question is, what is because I'd like to have an explanation from the finance minister, to be very precise now, how this will take people out of poverty, or how this will assuage the hardship that they're facing after 3 months. I'd really love to know.
As far as I'm concerned, this is just a propaganda thing, for the government to appear to be doing something, to assuage people for the damage that has been done by the subsidy removal before, without planning. It's just because, okay, so like you rightly said, you give me 25,000 for 3 months. After 3 months, what happens next? Wouldn't it be better if, for example, you had something that was more common based? Okay, so you empower young people once we train you for 3 months and give you. Okay, let's say, for example, you, like my friend Don said the other day here, you say, okay, you young guys, we want to start training some of you to be photographers, and you already have the equipment. And something that is a daring, not just cash. We like throwing cash at everything. We are happy cash. We are not happy cash, You understand what I'm saying? In any case, by the time you start this program, the value of that 25,000 would have gone down, would have crashed, because the market seller is going to be thinking that, what if we're going low, so we must get our own pound of flesh.
It may not even be worth anything.
I got to dodgy. I got to dodgy before, so I know the way these things work.
Yeah.
When we were paid 9 months arrears, and Babalorak, I apologized to my mother. She was shouting. Then I decided to leave me alone. I went and bought a radio cassette. I was a young boy in town. I went to Speedy. Some people will be laughing at home. There used to be one boutique at much like Jimi or Speedy. I went to Speedy and bought one nice shirt.
As a big boy concerned.
I whacked all that to Dodgy in one first swoop. If you whack my later.
Oh, wow. I think that this is to some people, they need this, right? But to other people who have foresight, no offense to the political class, I should think that the promise of having CNG buses across the country should be the first thing that people need right now.
Exactly.
I was listening to a show, Hard Facts, with Marianne yesterday. Marianne said something on the show, and she said that because somebody said that Nigerians spend a lot on food and everything, and she said, look, Nigerians spend a lot on transportation.
Or transportation.
Because what they want is to just hold on to the job that they have first.
Yes.
So they commit a lot of resources to transportation to just get them to work.
You get to work
them
and back.
If we can get that, and I agree with her, if we can get that solved, put the CNG buses on the road, subsidize them greatly, and let people be able to move around more conveniently.
That was why I was actually excited when Ogun State, when the Governor Abiodun, he did something in that. I don't know how far it's gone now to crash. That's the best way to go, not palliatives of rice and whatever, to crash transport fares and see how you can crash. In the past, we used to have cooperatives in companies, in whatever, and they buy what we call the Senko in those days, essential commodity. We have suffered though.
I think they still do.
But not like, there was a time you couldn't get bread in any hotel. You eat dodo or yam for breakfast. So if I want to eat full English breakfast, there's no bread, so you do. There was a time, I worked in Liver Brothers now. I was a Senko. There was a time you could hardly get milk, sugar, soap easily like that. You know. Those were the days of import license. We've been through a lot. Some of us have suffered year after year, decade after decade of one thing or the other, one government policy. Those are the days of import license. There was nothing. Then you had the Senko. That's essential commodities. So what did some people do? Some, like this office, for example, could go buy bulk, go to Pick Milk and say, okay, sell it to us at distributor's price. Okay, give us a discount. Let's do a bit of whatever. So they can now sell it to the workers at a much lower level. These are the kind of things government should be encouraging. You should be talking to manufacturers that, okay, we like that you put your thing in a nice tin and it's branded and so on and so forth. But can we get part of your products without the cost of packaging and whatever in bulk that we can redistribute to our staff? Those are the things that government should be encouraging people to do. Not all these 25. Go to the rural areas, buy yam from the farmers. Because once the farmers know that you are going to buy the yam, they will produce.
Yeah.
Then through cooperatives, you can sell at a subsidized price. That is how to go. I don't like all this cash transfer. This is money for the boys. The prices of SUVs are going to go up halfway through this exercise. On my work, no way now. Then we go chop inside.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we've seen it happen. What was it? Was it government trader or trader money?
Trader money.
Whatever happened
Market,
to it?
Whatever. Yeah. Anyways,
anyway.
Let's move on. Let's go pick the news pages of the Punch and the Daily Trust.
Right, Mr. Sheriff Quadry.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sheriff, did I pronounce it right?
Yes, sir.
Because the other day you didn't pronounce my name well.
I
didn't know whether there was a sweet stick over
me.
there. It wasn't you.
Okay.
He said, like, Jimi. So my name is. It is so funny that even I don't know the full pronunciation. I don't know whether it's, I just say Jimi Disu. I don't know whether it's Disu. Let's leave that one. Let's have a bit of fun there. Man arrested for raping prophet. He no fear God. A prophetess. He was looking for nothing. Lagos police nabbed blacksmiths making guns for criminals. They'll forever do that. Phone dealer accuses policeman of extortion. That I don't particularly like the idea of using photographs of certain persons when newspapers write the story. Okay, a phone dealer accuses policeman of extortion. What has it got to do with Hyundai? You understand that? We need to be careful about these things. What has it got to do with Hyundai? Must you put? You don't need to put. I know you can put an illustration.
Yeah.
The phone dealer accuses policeman. You put Hyundai's photograph there. Rivers police arrest fleeing rape suspect. Concerns as refuse takes over Lagos Abeokuta highway. Abducted Ebonyi Poly deputy registrar found dead. Wow, this is very, very important. Very, very important. All the big boys, listen to this story. Burglar proof door traps 12-year-old boy to death.
Oh
Okay, so you put these things to prevent anybody coming from outside into a place. But you got to be careful to train people about how to exit. I had a senior, God bless his soul, who died because they were trying to open up all the bulletproof whatever. One of the things I will tell you that you probably need to do is have a place in the house, maybe a nail or whatever it is, where all the keys are. Because in case of fire or whatever, in panic, you shouldn't be looking for keys everywhere. Things like that. You need to get ourselves organized. And the family of Odeoye has been thrown into mourning following the death of their 12-year-old son, Dominion, who died in the hospital after he was trapped in the holes of the burglar-proof door of their house. This happened in whatever. So let's be very, very careful. Sheriff, Lagos State Police Command has arraigned a man, Damien Kelikume, for allegedly locking himself inside his apartment and unleashing his dogs on detectives who came to arrest him.
Wow.
They just shoot the dogs dead. It was a stupid man. All right. Another story here. Lagos State is committed to women's welfare, says Sanwo-Olu. Water Corporation and prompt payment of bills. Lagos State government seeks cooperation on Lekki Epe road construction. I hope the governor saw the video of the distressed. Did you see the video?
What?
A distressed commuter on that Lekki axis because of the traffic. She says sometimes she has to go all the way to come back to
I didn't see the video.
It went viral. It's a living hell for people on that side, Shokotedo and all those areas. It's a living VGC. It's a living hell for them. Okay, so let's get from the north. Trust FCTA begins audit of houses in satellite towns. What else is there? Storekeeper arrested for stealing 47 bags of rice. That is not part of the rice that we are looking for. 47 worth 2 million. Police bust illegal gun manufacturing syndicate in Lagos. It's all crime. Community to banish family of boy buried alive in Kogi.
Yeah, I saw that story.
Wow. Let me read it so you can hear. The district head of Akpam said the Lokoja in Kogi State has resolved to banish a woman and her son who buried her 11-year. Oh yes, I heard the story last week. 11-year-old stepson alive over an alleged theft of 1,000 naira. You know, it can present a big problem for a man if he loses his wife, either by death or otherwise, and finds himself having to marry another woman. And if he's somebody who doesn't keep a very good eye on his children, I don't think we men actually imagine what some kids go through.
Yeah.
I can't.
You're spot on.
Spot on, yes. So, you know, it's a big dilemma, and it's wrecked many people. It's puts people out to the street, kids out to the street. Some get married. I know somebody who went and got married at the age of 18 because of her stepmother. It's quite common. You hardly hear that much of stepfathers, though. Stepfathers I don't know what it is with our women. Some of them, before they go on the attack. But I'm ready for it.
Children go through a lot.
They go through a lot.
Children go through a lot.
They go through a lot. So if you're a man and you find yourself under this circumstance and you want to remarry, look and well, shine your eye.
I've also seen, I think, two people that I know.
Yes.
You know, that they refused to remarry because of this. They said they were just going to focus on
the children.
Yeah.
But the truth is, let's be very honest.
And they've done a great job.
They're the
these two egbons of mine, they're doing well.
Don't look in my direction.
No, of course not. You. No.
Like, if you want to say things
your
like
ancestor
that,
now.
You look in the other direction. Why are you looking?
There's no other direction. The one I'm talking to.
Even your fingers are pointing.
I honestly, I think men especially now, because like you are right again, you're spot on about women being the most culprit in this story here.
And on the other hand, if I were a magistrate in the divorce court, if I were a magistrate, when it comes to
sharing custody,
I'd always first of all tilt it to the
woman.
Yes, because of things like this. It's difficult for men to raise children. Very difficult. Alone, singularly, extremely.